Poll question today, McLovin. What do you have for me?
Does Nick Saban deserve to be the highest paid coach in all of sports? 56% say yes.
Given the income that he is responsible for and bringing Alabama football back, now the timing of this, that's where I have to put a big question mark there. Texas got a new AD in Steve Patterson, and all of a sudden, Nick Saban, now that's the only job that he'd ever leave Alabama for. Okay, his agent says that. Well, there's a reason why. Do you think that his agent said, "Hey, Nick, I'm sorry, I didn't confer with you or consult you on this, but I just, somebody asked, I just said it." No, that would be, in my opinion, hey, Nick, I'm going to float this out there. We should be able to renegotiate here at Alabama, and we'll mention some special pressures that you have here at Alabama. I think he felt the walls closing in at LSU after he won a national title. And then he went to the Dolphins, and then now at Alabama. Well, he's created the special pressures because he's great. He's winning national titles. Clay Travis from OutkickTheCoverage.com, 104.5 The Zone in Nashville. He covers college football. He joins us now. Clay, separate fact from fiction here.
Well, I think the fact is that your poll question answers are completely correct. Nick Saban is the most valuable coach in American sports today. I don't think there's any doubt. The one thing I would question, I think Nick Saban is a little bit intrigued by the idea of being Texas's coach. I think you hit on something pretty key. I don't buy into the fact that Nick Saban needs leverage. And the reason is when you're the best in the world at what you do, your leverage is your resume. If Nick Saban walked into Alabama tomorrow and said, guys, guess what? Unless I get $8 million, $9 million, $10 million a year to coach, I'm going to retire. Do you know what they would do? They would find the money to pay him because they know the 13 years before Nick Saban got there, Alabama was a 500 job. I mean, he has created a monster there. And I think there's some part of Nick Saban that likes building more than he likes maintaining. And I think he's sitting around saying, boy, I've won a national title at LSU. I've done it at Alabama, and I can continue to do it and put myself into the mix. But if I win 4 out of 5 national championships here, how can I do any better? The people here in Alabama are crazy. They expect this now every year. Yep. If I go to Texas and win a national title there, I will be the only coach in the history of college football, probably forever, to win a national championship at 3 different places, all of which are storied programs. I think that would make Nick Saban, beyond a shadow of a doubt, the best coach in the history of college football.
How would Alabama feel if Nick Saban said, no, I'm being honest here, that I do want to leave. I've given you national championships. I've brought this program back, but I want another challenge. I'm going to Texas.
Oh, the entire state would go into mourning. I mean, it would be unlike anything you've ever seen.
But would they be angry at Saban for doing this? Would they understand why he would do it?
I think a lot of people would be angry, and that's because viscerally they respond in any way. Look at my Twitter feed sometimes. Anytime you say anything other than Alabama football is the greatest thing to ever exist in the history of college athletics, Alabama fans react with disdain and anger. So there would be a lot of people who would lash out at him for leaving, even though he had won potentially 4 national championships in 5 years. There would be a lot of people who said, well, go ahead and leave. I mean, this kind of confirms what we've always believed, which is Nick Saban doesn't like Alabama fans. I mean, I firmly believe this. Nick Saban is great at what he does, but he wishes on some level that nobody else cared about what he did. I mean, I think Nick Saban would love to coach college football in an empty stadium. I think he loves the game itself, and he likes trying to figure out a way to beat the team on the opposing sideline. But everything else to him, I think, on some level, is just fluff. It's just added insult to take away from his attention to detail. And I think he would really coach the same way, whether there's people there or not. It's just the competition that drives him in the process of trying to win.
But he doesn't like distractions. He doesn't like when fans leave during a blowout. The DJ Fluker story. You had Ha-Ha with what happened with him. There's all these things that happen that he couldn't control. You can control this. It's your agent who says, well, that's the one job he would leave Alabama for. He had to co-sign on this, Clay.
100%. I agree. And that's why I say I don't buy the idea. Some people are floating it out there. This is just Jimmy Sexton, his agent, who's very good at what he does, trying to get a raise. My position on this is if Nick Saban wants a raise at Alabama, Nick Saban gets a raise at Alabama. He doesn't need to manufacture leverage. Lots of coaches do. Lots of coaches need to play the game and create another option in order to get a raise. When you're the best at what you do in the United States, you don't have to create an option. Jay-Z doesn't have to create another company that wants to pay him more money when he's going to release a new album. He just walks in and says, look, I'm Jay-Z. I got a new album. This is what I want. You know what people do? They do it. Tom Hanks, if he decides to make a movie, he walks in and he says, I got this idea. I'm going to, go on boat, and I'm going to be a hostage, and we're going to film it at sea. And, if you guys don't do it, well, somebody else is going to do it. When you are, the bank works, right? I mean, Nick Saban is the bank. He sits on top of this huge asset at Alabama. They're not going to allow their best asset to leave. He doesn't have a buyout, Dan. Tomorrow, if he wanted to, this is the craziest thing about Nick Saban. Tomorrow, if he wanted to, or last year when Auburn fired Gene Chizik, he could have left and gone and taken over Auburn if he wanted to. That's how much power he has right now. Nobody could have stopped him from doing that. And nobody's going to stop Nick Saban from doing something if he doesn't want to. So this idea that he needs leverage, I don't buy. I think he's genuinely intrigued by the idea of being at Texas.
Good to visit with you, Clay. Thanks for listening.
Hey, enjoy it. Appreciate you guys.
All right. Clay Travis, 104.5 The Zone in Nashville, our affiliate there, and also OutkickTheCoverage.com. Covers college football for Fox Sports.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.